Welcome to the story so far.
To a different format, split into two groups of 11 for a 16-minute session to set the grid for both races. Drivers pushing the limits around the streets of Monaco. There were lockups out there. Alex, the championship leader, almost had his session come to an end. Sebastian Montoya certainly had his come to an end, but out front it would be a first pole position for Alex Dunn, who stole pole away from Victor Martins by 0.003 of a second.
And this is where we are witnessing today's action. Welcome to the sprint race at Monte Carlo for what is going to be a very interesting fifth round of the FIA Formula 2 Championship here in the beautiful south of France. 3.37 kilometers, around 30 laps for today's sprint race action. And we are in for the total unknown. Well, the tyre compound's here, mandatory, so watch out for what we're going to see when the lights go out. But down to turn one, it's anybody's guess. Alongside me in the commentary box is Omi and Omi. We are all set, ready to go, hoping and praying that this is going to be something good because the tension is palpable. Hello.
Hello. Formula 2, Monaco equals chaos usually. Overtaking will be difficult as usual, but the question will be, how are we going to get on when it comes to our battle at the front, and in terms of how many finishes are we going to have? It's a race that sees Kush Miney start on pole position, and it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to get on from there, alongside Luke Browning Williams Jr. going from second place on the grid.
Yeah, there is the starting grid for you just in front of us. We're getting that open in a second with the timings giving us the actual counters. But the one thing that always surprises me, Omi, at this place is that how difficult it is for overtaking. And in the sprint race, everybody's just they are 100% out for themselves. We are not going to see the usual slowly catchy feeling that we saw back in Imola. Everyone is literally gun-ho.
Everyone's going to be attacking in this Formula 2 race. As you mentioned, it's going to be all action stuff from start all the way to checkered flag, we will hope. And it's great to see the fans in the grandstand all preparing themselves to watch the stars of the future do battle on this circuit right now and take center stage.
It's your starting grid then from back to front here for round 5 at Monte Carlo. Raffaele Villagomez starts at the back alongside his teammate John Bennett. Sami Mekatuniv lines up in 20th with Clan Shields in 19th. Dino Bogdanovic in P18 with Max Esterson 17th. Emil Cordial is 16th with Jose Muyamati in 15th. 14th on the grid goes to Roman Stanak with 13th to Ollie Goethe. Joshua Durskin lines up 12th with Rito Miata in 11th. Reverse grid pole for tomorrow, Alexander Dunn, who was here, there and everywhere. He managed to hold on to it despite nearly getting a penalty. 9th on the grid for Victor Martins. Leonardo Forlaroli is in 8th with Richard Verschoor in P7. Sebastian Montoya in P6 and Arvid Lindblad P5. Jack Crawford in P4 alongside Gabriel Mini P3. The front row though, Luke Browning and Kush Miney on pole position. Omi, it's a recipe made in hell to put these drivers at the front of the field. It is going to be chaos like we've never seen before. Are you ready? This is going to be quite entertaining.
Yes, well, I'm ready to see whatever in the world we're going to get coming our way here in Formula 2. It's going to be definitely dramatic from the race start onwards. Miney has a big goal to stay ahead. Always in Formula 2 has he been getting off the line well, so if the same history repeats itself, then that could be him under massive pressure and Luke Browning possibly clear by the time that we get down to Saint Devot, as everyone watches on and gets ready for some final bit of action before the ever important Formula 1 qualifying that will be coming up after this one as well, as everyone continues to watch on and see what's going on down there on the circuit and right now in the pit lane and right now down the start finish straight, because that is where currently all the action is going on with a little delayed start here in FIA Formula 2 as we get the race control message confirming that exactly at this moment.
It is a delayed start, in which case we're going to hand down to the world feed. Chris McCarthy alongside Alex Brundle.
Just ahead of Formula 3 champion reigning Leonardo Fornaroli on 52 points. We've got a slightly delayed start, so the formation lap will start at 2:20 local time. That's in about 4 minutes.
It certainly will. Luke Browning, a good result for him, a first or a second with fastest lap. Could see him take the championship lead. The driver's in danger in terms of championship, the likes of Marty and Beganovic in terms of dropping places, but there are big opportunities here for the likes of Gabriele Mini, Jack Crawford and Sebastian Montoya. In terms of our points format, they go to the top 8 today. 10 points for the winner, 8 points for second, 6 points for third, and then we work our way down for 1 point for 8th. We look at Luke Browning. He's had a great season so far, Alex. A double podium at Imola, giving himself 4 now for the season so far, and a chance to make it 5 as we're only halfway through round 5. That would be a great result for him.
Strongest weekend so far, second quickest in free practice. I would have hoped to have been a tiny bit further up the grid for tomorrow's feature race, but of course the reverse grid giving him the opportunity to start from very, very close to the front of the field. Arvid Lindblad, another driver that did a really great job yesterday. Rookie performance in a Formula 2 car around Monaco. He was attacking throughout the whole session. A session that saw a truncated second half. The B group with a red flag very early on in their session of running interrupted the running early on, but it was that second group that produced the pole sitter for tomorrow, Alex Dunn, so they were able to get those laps in eventual terms. Sebastian Montoya really building well into his Formula 2 season, isn't he? He'll start 6th on the grid today.
He really is. He's down 14th in the championship, but he had that missed opportunity, you'd have to say, at Imola, and then a spin yesterday. But what he's showing, Alex, I think is signs of potential for his season going forward. This is round 5 of 14. He's got a great opportunity to get good points today and tomorrow, and this is back-to-back top 10 qualifying performances for him, and qualifying is key in this championship, isn't it, to get those points on the board.
It really is, but we've seen some really interesting strategic races here in Monaco. It's one of those races as well where a red flag or a safety car late on can give drivers the option to do something strategically interesting, even in the sprint race. It's a long old way to go as well here. 30 laps around Monaco, even the shorter of the 2 races, not to be sniffed at physically and in terms of the concentration of the drivers. Relatively hot out there, 21 degrees in the air, the hottest track temperature these Formula 2 drivers have seen all weekend so far at 42 degrees. Formula 1 cars were really moving around when I was watching trackside earlier on in FP3, and I suspect the Formula 2 cars are going to be exactly the same. A little bit rear-endy with the amount of temperature that's down there on the racetrack. Changes the balance of the car to being more towards oversteer and gives the drivers a lot to think about. For a sprint race, you tend to set the car up with quite a lot of front end anyway. That can be exacerbated by the temperature on track.
Right, we're getting ready then finally for the green lights to go on this formation lap to begin. I mean, we've had to wait a little bit, but that I think was due to the fact that we had a computer crash on the systems up here with race control. So they've let it work out, they've let it go, and fingers crossed we should now be ready to go.
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be really fun. So let's hope that we are able to get going without any issues. Let's hope they all make it off the line, because on the formation lap we have seen before loads of drivers left on the line and they have to be wheeled back to the pit lane. We've of course seen it happen at the actual race start. We had it for the pole sitter Jake Hughes in the sprint race where we completely stalled from pole position when the lights ran out. It was a great avoiding work from Dennis Hauger and Deruvla, who were directly in behind that day. Ralph Boschel watching on, he's another one of those drivers from the past of FIA Formula 2.
And And we are on the formation lap now here for FIA Formula 2. They head away from the grid, and the one problem is, we had 2 cars stall on the parade lap as well on the test run on Friday. Me and LA in the commentary box for that one. And Luke Browning as well, one of them. And he now starts second on the grid. If he stalls again, everybody behind him is going to be, well, right into the back. It's going to be a bit tricky.
Yeah, it's what I just mentioned in terms of JQs. It'll be a similar situation then, in that case, where everyone will have to try to take avoiding action, and it can get quite frenetic, especially if Marty also doesn't get a good start as well. So, it's the formation lap right now taking place, and the top 3 just navigating their way through. At this stage, it's going to be a great fight, and it's going to be a great start. And we can hear from our top 3 now.
I think it is probably, not saying 100, but 80 to 90% of the race done, to be honest, after T1. I don't think there are many overtaking opportunities too, so we just have to try and get a start, see how we do compared to the others, but not hiding you that after T1 it will be quite difficult to overtake, let's say.
I think it's key, you know, Formula did a great job in Formula 3 last year without a win, won the championship, and who was more happy at the end, I'm sure he was, than my 2 or 3 race wins. So yeah, the goal is to win the championship.
No, it's very crucial. As you know, it's very tough to pass here. But, you know, take nothing for granted. I think I'm confident in our pace anyway. Just get a good launch off the grid, and yeah, clean air will obviously help. And then just manage the race, to be honest, look after the tires and bring it home.
It's going to be very critical when this lights go out as well, how they're going to run it down towards that first corner. 9 times out of 10 we do have accidents here at Sandoval. Formula 2 is known for almost bringing out a red flag in the sprint or feature races. It was quite known for it back in the day, and now the tension begins to rise. I'm not sure about this one. They've put it at a precarious time. It's an hour earlier, so we're getting there, but 45 minutes on the clock. We've got an hour and a half until Formula 1 starts. And even a red flag at this point can be critical. They've got to be so on the button now.
Yeah, last year we had a red flag. We just about did make it. We were able to completely finish the race, but we are already 5 minutes behind schedule. So let's see how this one's going to go as they all get themselves into position.
Ready or not, here we go. Kushmani on pole position. He's on the left-hand side as we look at it. On the right-hand side is Luke Browning. Down to turn 1. Green flag at the back. Red lights will come on. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and in Monaco, go! And Browning again is slow away. Montoya already trying to come alongside him. Well, alongside down towards turn 1 with Armin Lindblad locking up for the back. And we've also got that's Alexander Duncan in the corner as they come up the run now. Once again, it's into the lead for Kushmani. Gabriel Mini puts it in P2. Crawford's in 3rd. Lindblad in 4th position. Luke Browning down to 5th. Are they all going to get through cleanly? Casino Square down towards Mirabeau. It looks like yes at the moment as a little bit of contact. No! And this is going to be trap blocked if they're not careful. Debris flying up in the air, but they all get around.
Absolutely, Jack Crawford being tagged there, and he's going to continue on, but a big moment in this race as Arvid Lindblad went for the dive bomb as they arrived down to the braking zone of Mirabeau. Can they all make their way to further back? Looks like they can. The Van Amersfoorts all battling up against Shields, but it is Alpine Junior 1 and 2 Miney ahead of Mini.
Yep, so this is now going to be critical. It's the braking zone. They may have the same livery, but they are not teammates. Please remember that if you're watching for the first time. Already further back, Rita Miata was a bit under pressure as well.
They took me out.
Yeah, Lindblad just took him out. There goes off the track as well. Roman Stanak cutting over, going side by side now as well, with Jose Muamati coming through to back. I don't know if Ford have only got damage here, but there's a lot of wings missing end plates as well, including for the 11 as well of Jack Crawford. It's now been passed by Browning, but in the lead, it's going to be Kushmani. Gabriel Mini in 2nd. Arvid Lindblad goes back up into 3rd position. Crawford now down to where he started. In fact, he's down to 5th now with Browning moving ahead for sure. Montoya follow rolling. Here's the replay as we come down and towards Mirabeau. This is the lunge on the inside line and just knocked him. That was looking not to be a pile-up. Great car control from Jack Crawford.
Yeah, I think any driver you put in that situation will just dive bomb at that chance because it's Monaco. There's no other overtaking opportunities. The opening lap is the best time to do so. Mini is utilizing right now, being close to Miney. Let's see whether he can do anything and try and pull off a move around this circuit. But Lindblad has the possession of third. Will be interesting to see how race control will read that incident. But Mini really on the charge, and if he is going to make an overtake, it's going to have to be something extraordinary. For sure in sixth, Montoya is in seventh, then it's Fornaroli, Martins and Dirksen. So we have Victor Martins who's still in ninth. Dirksen finds himself moving up 2 positions, Browning down 2, and that was exactly what was going to happen for him after a bit of a slow start after that. Luckily he was able to continue.
I heard squeaking, somebody, that was not a seagull either.
Reported.
Yeah, Crawford wants it reported.
Oh, it's fine. I said reported.
It's noted by the stewards. Gabriel Mini has set the fastest middle sector as well, and he now sets the fastest lap, but that's changing every single second as we come over the line. Lap 2 complete, on to lap 3 here, and is Mini going to have a go here on Mini? They got 3 tenths, but he is visibly close as they come out of Saint-Devant, up Beaurivage into Massenet and Casino Square. He might have a run here down into the hairpin.
Well, we've not really seen much overtaking around Formula 2 in Monaco. It applies to everything but Formula E around this circuit. Now, let's see whether he can pull something off. He's going to be trying to remain close and looking for a dive bomb opportunity. It won't come down to Mirabeau, but the Nouveau Chicane could be an opportunity.
I like drone cam here. That's a wonderful shot through Casino Square and down into the hairpin and next to the port here. That is a wonderful shot as they come through. Spinner! That was somebody in the background who's gone round. Now there's a yellow flag out. I saw at the top of the hairpin. Yellow flags are out. Is this going to cause a safety car? Is the track blocked? That's another question entirely. You've got to start thinking about it as well. But yeah, not everyone through second to 2. We'll see who makes it through. Lock up again from Gabriel Mini. And yeah, we've got a debris at the top of the hill at Mirabeau. And who's dropped down? Looks like one of the Van Amersfoorts is just like, oh, we've got a car stopped in the tunnel, look. So is that, well, it's hard to tell. It could be Clan Shield from the IAX. It could be Villa Gomez in the VAR. Let's hear from for sure.
Just get a flag, mate. They're smoking under the car. Copy, we reported.
So Jack Crawford's now got more damage as Gabriel Mini will have the DRS down to turn 1. Mini's looking for it, and he goes defensive into the braking zone. Mini can't throw it up the inside, but that yellow flag is still out, and it's either at the top of Mirabeau or in the tunnel. 2, not sure where they are, and it is Clan Shields who's failed to get through Sector 2, Omi.
Yeah, so it is Shields who was involved as well. You can see 15.3 seconds it says to the race leader, while some drivers who are much more further behind originally have found themselves dropping down. Now we're getting to the scene of the incident, so let's see whether we can spot him somewhere.
Well, there's debris at the top of the hill, just a little winglet, so they need to wait for the field to go through for a marshal to nip out and get it. But where is Clan Shield? Because
I think he's been recovered.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Let's take a look at it. This is not the start. This is a replay down into Mirabeau. There's Clan Shields further back. Is he going to have... Oh, no. Okay, here's the start now, Omi. Bit of a mess there.
Here we go, yes. Browning slow away. That gives then Montoya and Vachor the chance to go down the inside. It was 3 wide further back as Dino Buganovic had to back out of it, cutting across the road. Also, we did see momentarily Shields, who gained a position or 2. He's going to feather it out perfectly, as did the Van Amersfoort directly in behind. But Browning just did not get anywhere, and that's dreadful around Monaco.
I said exactly just before we started, if he stalls, then cars are going to go around him. I was looking at him, and sure enough, there he goes. Yellow flag is still out on the circuit. They've all made it through the sectors, though. So wherever Clan Shields is, it must be in a position where they're going to try and recover it without the necessary use of the safety car. But it is Shields out of the race at the moment, and that was the tap from the back. Great car control from, as well, coming from Jack Crawford, but Arvid Lindblad, he did hit him, and now we have gone to green flag running. So it's under investigation now by the stewards.
It is under investigation. It'll be interesting to see what the stewards do make of that. Might just be an opening lap thing, considering it is Monaco, and we do see loads of drivers make dive bombs like that, and there was another one.
Stupid manoeuvre from Rafael Villagomez there. And you're right, they did recover him. It was down at the hairpin at the top of the hill. I thought I saw a spinner at the top. And we were correct on drone cam. Here comes Gabriel Mini then. Still chasing race leader Kush Miners. They come into the Nouvelle Chicane. the left, the right, then the left again before the left at to back.
Mini's so quick. I don't think I've ever seen a car follow so closely.
Good job. Just keep the pressure up. Come on.
Yeah, he's on the soft tyres as well, but he's the same as everybody else. He's just got some more speed. Prema are looking on thinking, hello, what on earth are we doing here? We're fast. Have we put our IndyCar car in there as well, or something or other? Because they are absolutely flying over the line. Look, he's drifting it, coming out of Anthony Nose. DRS is open. He's within 0.4 of a second. Can he have a little look on the inside line to Saint Devon? No, but you've got to sense that if there's an opportunity, Mini's going to go for it. It's like Mansell and Senna all over again.
Yeah, 0.3 of a second for most of the lap around Monaco. Considering all the dirty air that there is, not as much as Formula 1, but it still applies to Formula 2. It is extraordinary how much more grip he's got absolutely everywhere, how much more confidence and pace he's got. Surely at some point he's going to post it down the inside of an apex to try and make this maneuver. Mini will have to try and really counterpart nearly everything that Mini will throw at him. He has to be very aware at this stage because who knows where a dive bomb will come.
And it's opportunity knocking down at the chicane coming up. 10-second time penalty for Arvid Lindblad for causing a collision. Look at Mini through the tunnel. He's absolutely on the back of Mini into the braking zone. You know, he's backed off there. I think that was a little bit of a warning to Kushmani through the tunnel section, saying, look, I'm still here and I will go for it. But is he going to try an unorthodox move and send it up the inside of Raskas? It's an opportunity.
Oh, that would be incredible. We saw a brilliant move by Liam Lawson up against Oscar Piastri here in the wet a few years ago in 2021. That was a brilliant maneuver then. Let's see whether Mini can try come up with something similar this time around. You've also meanwhile got a battle going on further back. Let's take a look at a bit
simply under yellow. Okay, copy. Reporting it.
There's no green flag out, which indicates that there's no yellow flag out. So I don't think Marty did overtake him under yellow flag conditions. Well, if the stewards investigated, but usually when we saw a few minutes ago, there was a yellow flag. Then at the hairpin there was a green flag. There was no green flag, indicates there's no yellow flag there. So I think Marty is actually fine by that. That was a good move on the inside line at Mirabo. Now we're watching the battle. This is Luke Browning. Ahead of him is Arvid Lindblad. Yeah, that debris still there. There's no yellow flag. So I think that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Look at this. Dunn and Browning are going to be level on points after this race at the moment. Let's see if it stays how it is. That's how tight the Formula 2 Championship has been this year.
Really, really close. Browning, though, wants to change that. He wants to get ahead of his rival, and if he can do so, he'll want to get past Lindblad if he doesn't want to get by. Mini, at the moment, still following so closely. 4/10, one of the bigger gaps we've had, but he really gets a good exit, I've noticed, from Nouvelle, and then really close into Tabac, but of course there's no opportunity properly going into Tabac at the moment as well, which is why he's having to really back off. And then he needs to follow closely and really ideally hope for a mistake, and he needs to be glued onto the back. But if he applies this sort of pressure, it could come his way.
10-second penalty. 10-second penalty for Lindblad. Hope it was worth it for him.
Mini's looking very close into the braking zone at turn 1. Not going to go for a move here. Yellow flag out again, which time now has caused it. Yeah, yellow flag is going to come back in and come back out again. So there's somebody off on the side of the circuit. We'll keep an eye as it goes. It's gone green again now, so let's have a look. This is on board with Victor Martins. He's having a run ahead with Leonardo Forlaroli. Still pushing hard, isn't it? I mean, it's still that attack guru.
Oh, this is action-packed. This is exciting. And look, it's Formula 2 at Monaco. While we're not going to get the normal action overtake every second thing, we are seeing drivers follow closely how they can't in Formula 1, how they can't in either Formula 3 as well, and even they struggle in the Super Cup with that one. So it's great that we'll be actually being able to get some close racing where it's all on the line. Monaco's not going to be your Austria or Silverstone with so many overtakes, but with how close it is, and when you do get a dive bomb, eventually from Mini, it is going to be remarkable to watch, and it really will be something extraordinary. It's all on the line in Formula 2 between the two Alpine juniors, pushing on to an elite level still, they're 6.4 seconds clear of the next car. That is Arvid Lindblad in third. Can Mini do anything? Out of Anthony knows. Down the start finish straight, DRS wide open once again. But he just gets close, but has to back out of it because there's not really a proper braking zone heading down there. And then, of course, the corner closes up a little bit, and then he gets drive out of this corner, but he won't be close enough into Massenet.
I have seen this once before, multiple times before at Monaco, famously with Senna and Mansell, but more recently I remember Montoya doing it as well. Even Jarno Trulli and Jenson Button doing it, as Forlaroni actually hit the wall there with Victor Martins just ahead of him. So a little bit of a touch through at Saint Devant. Oh, he just got away with that. And was this the reason for the yellow flag? Dive bomb, yes, on the inside, and a little touch and a little tap and a winglet being flown up as well as Roman Stanek tries to lunge up the inside of Marty and Miata.
Yes.
Here, there, and everywhere.
Pepe Marti. That was a really, really tight moment for him as Roman Stanek sent it down the inside, and that's where there was contact and a bit of debris flying off at that part of the circuit. Back to live pictures and back to Mini giving Maney right now a full rear view mirror of pink BWT. Alpine liveried machine right now, and we have no further investigation. We didn't got the shield
Slow
bent.
down. You create a gap to the cars in front.
Browning's on the outside!
Give me the gap you want. It will open 12-second gap to the car that is just in front of you. Why the f*** do I need a 12-second gap? By that, in the last 5 laps, you can go all in and make the gap to the cars behind.
So what they're trying to...
So Lindblad knows he's got this time penalty, so he wants to create it where he can go, but Browning's not happy by the fact that Lindblad's backing him up so much. So that's why Maney and Mini are so far ahead at this stage of the race. Whew.
Yeah. For Monaco standards, this is what you call fun. This is the definition of fun. Where Maney is under so much pressure. We then cut to Browning, who's absolutely all over the back of Lindblad. And to be fair, I think in 2024 we were really close to this type of racing, but we weren't getting it.
Keep it up, confidence, come on, you're much stronger than him.
We need that sometimes in the air.
Yeah. Look at Gabriel, he's so much stronger.
Yeah, as I mentioned, Nouvelle Chicane. He's gained so much, it's unbelievable. And he's really close, but it's all about keeping it through the swimming pool section, heading all the way down to the end of the lap, and then something extraordinary into Raskas, which doesn't seem to be appearing at the moment. He tries to take a wide line to give himself good exit speed, and then down the start-finish straight once again, he opens the rear wing, and is this going to be the chance now for Mini?
Here we go, he's closer than ever before. He looks to the outside, he gets it shut off. He can't switch back to the inside in time, but just a little, that's the first sniff of the opportunity that Gabriel Mini's wanted. And Maney will now start to feel the pressure bubbling. 10-second time penalty for Villagomez. Well, that's absolutely useless, he's last anyway.
Yeah, quite useless at this stage. Quite useless at this stage. Lap 11 out of 30 then. Laps are ticking by, but when you have such a great battle like this, absolutely, they are going on right now quite fast. Let's take a look at a replay of Pepe Marti heading down to the Nouvelle Chicane.
Oh, and just gets forced out ever slightly, but did he? Yes, he did. He let Miata back through as well. Did he actually lose time there to Stanek? Yeah, Stanek on the inside line to back. Nice. Mini's too far back. Oh, he nearly outbraked himself down to the Nouvelle Chicane. He got so close behind the back there as well. What's up with Durskin? Oh, Villagomez, another time penalty coming through. What's up? Yellow flag's out, by the way. Did you say it was Joshua Durskin? He's 70, yeah, he's dropped down.
Yeah, I think there's something that's gone wrong for the Paraguayan driver dropping down our order. There's so many yellows, it's all changing. Oh, and he's in, and he's off the road.
Whereabouts is that on the circuit?
Safety car.
Oh, it's a Portier. And safety car's out, yeah. It's a Portier. Ah, okay. So safety car now is out to neutralise the field, and that is worst news possible for Arvid Lindblad, but best news for Luke Browning, who was fed up behind that backwards. And it's just Joshua Does going into the wall for the AAX squad down at Portier.
Maney gets some time to breathe at this stage. He's been high alert. He's been on high alert completely so far, so he really gets some time now to take a deep breath to continue on in this. Mini will try and continue the momentum he had from this. Okay, we're taking a look at a replay, and this is how Joshua Dirkson's race came to a close.
Well, his side, but oh, bang and a half! My goodness me! Now, which Red Bull was that in the battle? Dirkson's hit the wall twice.
This was so stupid from this guy. How do you expect to not smash? Come on!
Was that Marty? Yeah. It was Jose Maria Marti, but hit him. Hard to tell from the angle we got, but it's Jose Maria Marti who dives up the inside, clatters into him. Yeah, there he is. Now there's Marty, so it's Goethe.
Yeah.
It would help if F2 actually... Oh my word! High Tech were looking at to cause a huge airborne accident. It's gone in at precisely the wrong angle for Dirkston. So it's Ollie Goethe who's dived up the inside line and has basically just jumped over the front wheel and is forced, unfortunately, out of the race for Joshua Dirkston. John Bennett's got a suspension issue, probably from earlier on in the race. He's now out. So we're down to 19 runners, effectively, and debris littered across the Monaco street circuit.
Yeah, there's been lots of contact going on since the race start. They've let it run all the way through, but at this moment now, after we've seen Dirkston find the wall, the safety car is required, and it will bunch the whole field up, and it will be a reset mode going on for Gabriele Mini and Kushmani at the front of the field. Fornaroli right now in 8th, possessing the final point. Martins will try and get in there, as we see Bennett watch on. The runner-up from GB3 last year had 2 rounds at the back end of last year of Formula 2 as well, and the Qatar feature race where he was able to get 8th. It was a superb performance, as we now see the whole tier from the man in
Try to do the same strategy after the safety car. I don't protest the penalty. I don't know why. Honestly, where did he expect me to go? Yeah, that's already done.
So they're protesting the penalty, but in my opinion, it was a... Yeah, he dive bomb and a half down to the hairpin, but did Browning give him enough space? Lindblad's going to complain like mad over the radio, so not the greatest. Safety car's out though, and the reason it's a safety car, not a virtual safety car, is because it was right in the firing line at the exit of the corner like we saw this morning in Formula 3, so they have to get the crane out, they have to make sure that the track is clear, and there's also other bits that need to be done. This is what happened to John Bennett then. Exit of Saint Devot and kisses the Armco barrier, has been painted purple this morning, and yeah, unfortunately, like a bruise that'll show up tomorrow, that car has been knocked about a bit too much. It's broken the rear suspension.
Yeah, his teammate watching that moment, Villa Gomez, is seeing that all unfold, as we see the field then all starting to back up and get themselves prepared back to go racing. Safety car restart very critical to when you react. If you are very slow away, you could see some changes, and these are big moments in the race around Monaco. Overtaking isn't easy out of the parts, but when you do have a race start, when you do have a safety car restart, reacting is absolutely everything if you do want to try and bulge yourself up the order or even just maintain position.
So, lap 13 of 30 will restart presumably at the end of the following lap, so it'll be half distance when we go back to green flag running. There's debris still there on the circuit. Now, why aren't they just popping out there, getting it up and going? Because there's enough room now on the circuit that they can get that safely, and it's right in the firing line. Usually the Monaco Marshals are some of the best and most experienced in the world, but here there's just... they're hesitant to go out there onto the racetrack, and the safety car is ending this lap, and now they're doing it. There we go. Brave Marshall there.
Yeah. Completely bunching the field up to allow our brilliant marshals to go to work, clear that bit of debris as Formula 2 gets ready to go back racing on the streets of Monte Carlo, with Maney at the front of the field. We're taking a look at another replay of Joshua Dirkston making contact with Ollie Goethe, and well, most side by side at Monaco usually does end that way.
I'm surprised that Goethe doesn't have more damage.
Stupid, man. How can you be so stupid?
Which guy?
I don't know, man. There's 10,000 Red Bull guys. They're all part of the Red Bull.
Yeah, well, okay, if Joshua Dirkston can't even tell who's who, the commentators, even we can't tell. The problem is, the number is so blander colour, it fades into the livery. Last time out, I actually was very thankful that Red Bull put the little white numbering around the outside of it as a border, because it maybe we could see who was who. Here, it's very hard to tell who's who from the number angles we get. Typical. Liberty Media said all the numbers have to be in these places and visible to the fans. Yeah, and then they move the television angles down to eye level, so you can't actually see. It's so annoying. High angles, please, and not like this. It's like, I feel like I said to LA yesterday when in the practice session, I feel like I was having to crank my neck to try and have a look over the steering wheels. Right, race will restart then with 15 laps to go out of Anthony Noakes, and we are racing once more in Monte Carlo. And it is Cush Mining leading with Gabriel Mini behind. And look already, Luke Browning's under attack from Jack Crawford, who's missing half a winglet, remember, as he comes into the braking zone. Then we get Richard Verschoor, Sebastian Montoya, Forlaroli, Martins and Goethe. Oh, and Forlaroli, who was trying to warm his tyres, but also kicking up a bit of debris that was left on as they go up Beau Rivage and into Massenet now. Clean restart there, and that's what Maney needed. He's already pulled out 8 tenths to Gabriel Mini, but Montoya is all over the back of Richard Verschoor.
Montoya out of Anthony Noakes really going for it. It was a superb restart for him, and he's waiting to see whether there's any opportunities to get ahead of the MP Motorsport driver ahead. That is exactly what Alex Dunn is looking for further back, trying to take the wide line to see if he can put some pressure on Ollie Goethe. But one of the biggest gaps we've seen so far between first and second place, 1.1 seconds, heading down to the Nouvelle. Lindblad fading back, further back, and then it's Browning, Crawford, and Verschoor right now are top 6 in this race.
You're going to go for a move on the opening restart? No, very much status quo then as they come in. Take a look actually, the drivers who stayed in positions is Maney, Forlaroli, Martins and Cordial. They've all stayed in their original starting positions. Everybody else has been moving up or down around them. Biggest winner, Ollie Goethe and Rafael Villagomez up 3 places. But Villagomez has that 10-second time penalty and he's running last anyway, so technically he doesn't count. Martin Stanek, no further action from the stewards as we now take a look on Arvin Lindblad under pressure from Luke Browning, but the gap now, 2.5 to Mini. That's got to be 12 seconds in half the race. DRS now enabled. Now we can go and get a slipstream down towards turn 1. But DRS is useless around here. If anything, a push-to-pass system would be a lot more efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially somewhere through the tunnel. Victor Martins has lost a couple of positions, by the way, just for information. Hopefully we'll get a replay on that. He's lost actually more as I just complete that sentence. He's even losing more as well. This is a replay now with Oliver Goethe. Let's see what he's been getting up to on this restart.
Oh, pushing more people out of the way. That's twice now for Ollie Goethe.
Go, let's go. Come on, where's that? Come on.
Wow.
You can say well done, but is that forcing another driver into a mistake? Because, yeah, he hit the wall and lost the part of the front wing. I don't know if the stewards are going to put up with Ollie Goethe being this reckless. I mean, I know overtaking's hard at Monaco, but he's literally taking Miley Cyrus seriously and coming in as wrecking balls.
It's ruined Martin's race 100%. That's going to see him completely fade. Is there a chance of Browning following super closely? And he will be waiting for the opportunity down the start-finish straight.
I thought Forlaroli was under attack there by said Goethe. Ollie Goethe, who we might need to think of a new name for shortly. Lindblad's under a bit of attack from Browning into the turn 1 at Saint-Devote. And now into the turn. Can we make it through safely? Yes, we can. Up the hill we go then. Victor Martins is into the pit lane, by the way. So he's going to change that front wing. Yellow flags out. Someone's run off at turn 1. Yep. New wing nose for Victor Martins then. Oh, that's such a shame for him. But he's got the feature race tomorrow to try and capitalise on more. And he'll rejoin behind Villagomez. As there is John Bennett's car at the exit of the pit lane. Waiting to be released.
Mini got really close, but then has really dropped down once again. So that gap is fluctuating between first and second place, and it's so tight between Lindblad and Browning. When does Browning maybe go for the move? We were talking about possibly Mini trying to see where a dive bomb opportunity was. That could be what Browning's going to be looking at, because he is absolutely pushing that that Red Bull liveried Campos around this circuit. Further back for Shaw, having to look at his mirrors when Montoya is darting left, darting right, still can't find a way through the very tight to back corner. We're going to now find ourselves heading down to the Raskas, and Maney, 2 seconds is the advantage right now that he has got. Mini at the moment is got the fastest lap though, so that'll be a bonus point heading his way. Across the line we go, down to Sanderot at the moment, and Gertha being able to control things, and Dunn dropping down quite a bit, I have to say, in the background. So that is a poor exit completely for Alex Dunn. Really slow into the corner, really slow out of the corner for him. Luke Browning, 4/10 of a second, as Montoya looks to see where an opportunity could be. And there we have Pepe Marti still in that pit lane. Victor Martins went back out there onto the racetrack as well on lap number 18 out of 30. So time is ticking in this race, and we are going to be running out of laps. We have 17 minutes to go on the clock, and we take back a look of Lindblad and Browning. But Montoya, I think he's really been attacking. He would have been disappointed after what happened in qualifying yesterday, but as Alex Blundell described it, if you are going to have a moment around the circuit, then you want to have it near the end. Miata really putting the pressure on Dunn, who, our championship leader, has seen himself really drop down over the last few seconds, and he's having to defend massively up against Miata, heading down into Tabak. But there isn't a car's width for Miata to be able to get by in his ART. Stanek super tight as well, and surely Miata's going to send a move at some point because he's following so closely. Dunn really reducing in speed at this stage. Stanek taking the wide line with that damaged front wing that he has got as we come out of Anthony Notes and down the start finish straight once again.
So here we come then with lap 19 in action. Let's hear from Stanek.
Look what is he doing.
So maybe back.
Okay, so Stanek doesn't know what Alexander Dunson's up to as well. As they come through, the manoeuvre not to his liking. There's a beautiful shot there from the drone camera. Yeah, drones in a lot of operation this weekend. We've got a helicopter going wide up, and 3 drones around the circuit here, bringing us ulterior TV pictures. Gap between Maney and Mini now 0.7 of a second. On board with Luke Browning in the high-tech. Arvin Lindblad just ahead of him. He knows he'll get third anyway with the podium, but he wants so desperately to get ahead of him. It's more, you know, it's the physical thing of, I can beat you on the track at Monaco, eat that. It's a sort of the driver beef like they like to play. Browning knows if he sits behind, he's going to have it, but what's to overtake?
I mean, he wants to show that he can do it on the circuit. He wants to show that he had the pace to do it on the circuit. He's having a look to the outside line. We'll try cut back and get better traction. Heading through Anthony Nose. Let's see whether there's going to be a chance for the Williams Jr. who's going to open the rear wing. And he's going to be close, but not close enough unless it's a late dive bomb on the brakes.
Nothing into turn 1. It's too far back. It's just like with Macau, really. Everyone says, oh, that's a racetrack that always provides great stuff. I was like, are you watching? There's only really one overtaking spot at Macau, and that's down into turn 6. Here, you don't get that much at all at Monaco. You get maybe a look at the hairpin. It's mainly the Nouvelle Chicane, and after that, you're just sort of running together. And this, with 11 to go, is the battle for the race lead. That's now really got back up, with Miney leading by 0.6 of a second to Mini just behind. Down to the Nouvelle Chicane. Surprised we haven't seen a lock-up, actually, and someone run wide from the leaders. They're dialed in and focused. Best lap times as well. They are... Have you seen their lap times, by the way, Amy? It's unbelievable. So even to the rest of the field, we've got Dunn, Miata and Stanek doing 124s, and now Santos doing 125. Began to 124, but at the front of the field, Martin's done a 123 now, but in terms of the top 5, Kushmani, Gabriel Mini, 125s now, but the rest of the field, 126, 127. So they are lapping 1 to 2 seconds up faster. That's why Lindblad even backing off. Browning's having to back off as well. So it just goes to show how difficult this racetrack is to overtake, when if one driver in front decides, okay, I'm going to back off, you can't do a thing. You cannot overtake, you can't find a way through. And Mini's having to sit at the back of a very similar paint colour scheme as out of the race, unfortunately, goes Jose Maria Marti. So maybe our commentators cursed him with another damage.
Yeah, Yeah, I think it's pretty clear in terms of how hard it is to overtake. When Mini is 3/10 for most of the lap, where earlier on in the race, and he can't find a way by, I think that shows you all you need to know, and there is cars width at certain parts of the circuit to be able to get by. Same thing in Formula 3, with those small cars, people aren't able to fight their way by. But what a win this would be for Gabriele Mini. He's won 2 Formula 3 feature races around here. He did it back to back in 2023, in 2024. Now he's progressed himself up to Formula 2 and now looks to win a sprint race at this level. Let's see whether he's going to be able to do so. Has to do one of the best overtakes of his life though, if he wants to provide that. And then we look and wait for Arvid Lindblad 11.8 seconds back to arrive in our picture.
So one of the most iconic shots in Formula 1, isn't it? The run into back. I've seen so many legendary scenes over the years and painting schemes. It's fantastic how close you can run it, but they're still just holding it together. They've got to take every lap as if it's another cycle around your living room, as PK put it all those years ago. And in F2, with no power steering, it gets even harder, even more physical. Your tyres start to drop off. You try and catch the car from crashing, and it's just inching to catastrophe as we now look again to the front of the field. It feels like maybe it's lifting off, because now, last lap he was sector 1, sector 2 faster, but sector 3, Mini was faster. That was in the straight line sector. So when it's a more flowing part of the track, Mini can keep up. Oh, hello, Lindblad, 22.2, first sector. He's now it's the go point for him to try and drop Browning for that gap for third. So now can Browning, look, yeah, there we go, look, okay, let's push now. Exactly as I was looking at the timing screen. 22.2, this was the push moment. He's got those 12 seconds that the team talked about over the radio. He's had to pull out after another safety car, but now can Lindblad drop Browning and get those 10 seconds back? Because he has that time penalty for causing a collision earlier on. Here he is now, but even with a damaged winglet, he saved his tyres. It should be doable, just about, unless a safety car comes out.
Yeah, a safety car would be a race ruiner, and in Formula 2, safety car is absolutely a possibility, and sometimes a timed safety car or virtual safety car can also be important, like we saw last year, deciding the feature race, giving Zach O'Sullivan the win all the way from the back.
Back to front race wins is hard to do. Last one we saw in the FIA Championship was Mitch Evans. He did it in Sao Paulo in Formula E at the start of this current FE season. Over the top of the hill now. Gap is 10 seconds, 1.5. Goethe has been given a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision. Now, is that just one collision? What are they going to do for both? I assume a 5-second would be for the Raskas, wouldn't it? But Martins has been massively displaced by that. Drone cam again.
Yeah, of course, around a circuit like this, Martin's race completely ruined, and with no pit stops in a sprint, no matter what circuit it would be, the race would be ruined for your rival when they get damaged and when they get pushed off in that way as well. Okay, we're going to take a look at a replay of how he got that one. Dive bomb up the inside of Victor Martins, pushes him out wide and gains that place.
That's what the 10-second penalty was for, not the putting out of the race Joshua Durnskin earlier on. So, yeah, put someone into the wall and damage the front wing, 10-second time penalty. Put someone into the wall that causes a safety car. Oh, you're fine, scot-free, don't worry about it. Consistency is not the steward's point, is it? Not at the moment. Can I just say something? The F1 TV direction for this race has been a bit subpar. It feels like I'm watching Tele Monte Carlo again, not the F1 TV team, because some of the shots they've decided is a bit wacky and a bit crazy. They need to just calm it down a bit. Yeah, there we go. I know this is only the third year they've done it now? 23, 24, maybe yeah, third year they've done it, but come on. Like, look, okay, that was stunning. Yeah, watching a car go over the bypass. Oh, hello. Lindblad just going, that's Alexander Dunn, just going straight off. Lindblad's first sector, by the way, match now again, 21-1.
Yeah, quickest first sector we've seen from anyone in this race, being set by Arvid Lindblad. He's got the gap to 3.1 seconds, and there we see now on screen as well, that first sector.
There's a slippery surface flag out down at the chicane, but I can't see any debris around. We need to actually get the name for that as well, because they call it the slippery surface flag or the track hazard flag, but they need... The oil flag is always the one as well, but it is slippery surface. Need a new reasoning behind it, actually.
Yeah, Mini's really dropped off.
Yeah.
Just now, really dropped off. Lindblad's closing in, so him trying to get 10 seconds may not even work because you might get stuck behind Mini.
And it's 3 seconds to Browning as well, so this is not paid off the way we thought it was in the race. Well, this has got 5 to go, and it's getting a bit exciting in terms of are we actually going to see Kushmani lead from start to finish? Don't worry, tomorrow we have a pit stop that will change up the racing a bit. Feature races at Monaco are always more exciting than sprint races. That's one of the reasons we don't have a sprint in Formula 1. People complain much about the main Grand Prix. Can you imagine how much they complain about a sprint race?
I wouldn't say it would go down too well a sprint race around Monaco as well in Formula 1.
Plus to get it to 100 kilometres, that's still going to take like a full hour because the race here is what, 294? So I'd say it's actually below the 300 kilometres. It's the only race on the calendar that we do go below 200 because the laps make it harder to get to. If it rains here, we always hit the 2 hour mark. So that's always the issue. Now it's if it's red flagged, it's 2 hours within a 3 hour period, which is what you've always got to remember. Let's hear from Alexander Dunn.
We need to finish on Curtis. Just for the last penalty.
Yeah, trying to...
I presume that word begin with an A. Is there anyone I can think that can fit the anagram there?
I'd say so as well. I think that is exactly the word that was in use there. Okay, so just under an hour to go till Formula 1 qualifying later on, so that will be interesting to see how that is going to play out. But still, we've got a Formula 2 race that needs to crown a winner, and also the points-paying positions that are being debated. That doesn't include Goethe and Dunn. They are outside the top 8 in this one at the moment.
And Megan's not going to be happy in the fact that she hasn't got a television monitor for her timing screens today as well. But I think she'll understand because of the chaotic nature of how things are going to progress for this one. Everything will be back to normal tomorrow. It's scary to think that the day's already nearly over. We're used to like massively long days, but it's a nice one so far. Right, here we go again then. This is Alexander Dunn right on the back of Ollie Goethe. Now Goethe's got this 10-second time penalty, so Dunn just needs to either wait or go behind and have a go. And I think he's run out of time to catch Fuller early.
Yeah.
So he's even
definitely
outside
looks
the
like
points.
the case.
Yeah, he's even outside the points, so Dunn's not going to get nothing.
Here we go. Lindblad versus Mini.
This is not what Arvid Lindblad wanted at all. He wanted to get that time ahead. He's only got 4 seconds to Browning. He had 11 seconds to Mini, and the gap just hasn't worked. Browning's tyres were not as badly damaged as people thought, and he doesn't have to push that hard because he knows that Lindblad's going to drop down the field. But only behind Verschoor, so he'll still get points here today. Montoya in 7th, Fuller early 8th, and it'll be done in 9th position. Unless there's a late safety car, and that would put Dunn into 8th position as well, so it's not entirely over yet. One thing I wish they would do is give us the time penalties on the screen of how many seconds they've got, like they have in the F1 game as well. In esports, we get to see exactly what they have, and somehow that's an ability that we haven't yet mastered in Formula 1 graphics department, although we can see Victor Martin has the fastest lap, so that's useful.
Yeah. Martin's out there on the circuit. But yes, Lindblad Express that he was trying to go on. Being stopped right now by Mini as we go on to lap number 28 of this race then. And it's been a race that has been interesting by Monaco standards. Very close to the front, but I think Mini definitely using a lot of his tyres compared to Mini who just did his own race, wasn't phased at all by Mini directly pushing him through absolutely every corner around the circuit. So a brilliantly executed performance, we have to say, as well as now Lindblad putting serious pressure on Mini. So could we actually get an overtake maybe even? Lindblad might actually have to make this overtake to actually get on with it.
Yeah, he's got to start pushing with 2 to go, and if it's he's got 5 seconds to Browning. It's every point matters in the championship for Lindblad right now, so he's got to pass Mini. But is Mini going to defend, not knowing that? I hope the team on the radio saying, look, he's got a penalty. He's still going to be in P2. Just let him past. If I was, do you know what I would do? If I was Mini, let him through. Just let him through. Because otherwise you run the risk of him doing a dive bomb and ruining your race. If you let him through...
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that there's a risk of, they are going to try appeal it, aren't they, Campos? So you don't want to risk that in case they do try appeal that.
I thought the rules was that you can't appeal time penalties in races. You can appeal drive-throughs and such, but for time penalties you can't do, because that's what Sebastian Vettel had years ago. Do you remember in Canada?
Yeah.
In terms of delivering the laps.
Yeah, we see a gap, then we go. Try to pass it.
Yeah. It's going to be another one that's going to rage in the courtroom. They've lodged the appeal. You have to do that immediately, and that's what they've done. So Arvid Lindblad is effectively here racing under said appeal, which will likely be lost. There's no real reason for the stewards to change their minds. The FIA don't really overturn those type of things. I think Mini locked up. I can see a flat spot on his front right tyre. I think that's why he dropped back off of Crush Miney so much. There was just a little lock-up at some point in the race we haven't seen. Martin's a 1:22.433. He set the fastest lap of the race so far. He won't get any points for it. He's outside of that top 10 position as well. We will start the last lap shortly. As flying through the swimming pool section now. Miney's out of the last corner and is going to be over the line. One more to go then. Here in Monaco for the sprint race. And it's going to be the entire time. 45 minutes exactly for this race. So better late than never.
We're going to go onto, well, we are on the last lap, and we've got onto the last lap with about a minute to go on the clock as well. So absolutely perfect there as well, completely racing to the 45 minutes of Formula 2 action as we arrive down to Mirabeau, and Maney on his way to win for the second time in Formula 2, but it's going to be the first one that he gets to enjoy across the line, because the win he previously had was due to Richard Rashaw getting his typical disqualification, and that was in Budapest last year after he won the sprint. It went to Maney. He got to celebrate that after the race, but he didn't know that he was the winner when he crossed the line. That's about to change, and he's about to finally achieve that feeling there.
Well, to be fair, many people say, oh, it's only a sprint race, it doesn't really matter. It's going to matter, because leading from start to finish in Monaco is pretty much what you do in the feature race as well. So this is going to count in the record books. He will be a winner in Monaco, and is Lindblad going to get second place here as well? Remember, he's still racing under that appeal process. Into the Rascasse, one more right-left to do, which is down, right, left, out across the line, and Kush Miney wins on the streets of Monaco. And across the line, it's side by side. 61,000 to the line. It's second for Gabriel Mini. Luke Browning will finish in third, with Crawford fourth, for sure fifth, Montoya in sixth, Forlaroli seventh. Arvid Lindblad will finish in 8th position, with Ollie Goethe getting a penalty now to be applied. So Alexander Dunn will finish in 9th place, Rito Miata in 10th, Roman Stanak in 11th, Max Esterson in 13th, with Goethe confirmed in 12th, Cordial 14th, Boganovic 15th, Megatunis is 16th, Villagomez 17th, Martins 18th, and the last one of the points with a fastest lap out of the race was Martin, Bennett, Durskin and Clanshields, and Omi, Miney had him from start to finish.
He did. It looked under doubt, but it was basically at the same time Mini just pushing a little bit too hard on his tyres. Let's hear it from our race winner.
Good job. Very good job.
Yeah, boys. Thank you very much. Yeah. It's been a very tough start. I'm out of our control. I'm in our control, but our season starts today, so it's a very long way to go. Let's keep believing. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so let's head down
Well,
then
that's
to
what he'll
Orsi.
remember.
Oh, okay, well, no, not because Sky are taking us off, and I haven't got my laptop in order to do it. So, sadly, that's it for us for the F2. We can't bring you the podium with Sky going off air, and we don't have the ability to go to the We Are Checking site as well. So, Omi, please give me your final thoughts coming into this one.
Brilliant Formula 2 race, and looking forward to seeing what we get for the feature race tomorrow.
It was another fun, dramatic, excitable race. There's a lot more to come tomorrow. Join us again, but next up in around about half an hour's time, it is the Formula 1 qualifying for the Monaco Grand Prix alongside after the British Grand Prix, the Tissot Sprint for MotoGP. That's going to be live on JB Motorsports 2. Join us for all the action in a bit. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.